Good morning everyone. You are watching Swaraj Bharat and my name is Saurabh Misra. In this video, we are going to talk about the current affairs of 16th of March 2020. So let's start our video. Taizu Yin won 2020 All England Badminton Championship. Taiwan's Taizu Yin won the third women's singles title in 4 years at the Unix All England Badminton Championship 2020 in Birmingham, which is in England. She defeated the defending champion Shen Yufei on 15th of March. Also, if we talk about men's single, Victor Axelsen won the All England title in the championship. He secured Denmark's first win in the event since Peter Gates' triumph in 1999. Now, if we talk about this All England Open 2020, it was the 112th edition of this game. It started on 11th of March and lasted till 15th of March. It was happening in Birmingham, England, and the total prize money for this championship that was $1,100,000. Now, let's move on to our second point here, which is Union government implements Poshan Abhiyan. Now we talk more about it. Government of India is implementing Poshan Abhiyan across the country to address the problem of malnutrition. The campaign aims to reduce malnutrition in the country. The Abhiyan will be implemented in a phased manner through a life cycle approach. It also aims to reduce combat undernutrition, anemia among young children, now women and adolescent girls, and reduce low birth weight. Now let's try to understand what is Poshan Abhiyan here. So Poshan, that stands from Prime Minister overarching scheme for holistic nutrition. And that National Nutrition Mission is the Government of India's flagship program to improve nutritional outcome for children, pregnant women and lactating mothers. It was launched by the Prime Minister Modi on the International Women's Day, which was on 8th of March 2018 in Jhunjhunu, Rajasthan. The scheme has directed the attention of the country towards the problem of malnutrition and addresses it in a mission mode. Let's move on to our third topic, which is related to the coronavirus outbreak. According to UN's Trade and Development Agency, UNCTAD, reports coronavirus outbreak cost global economy up to $2 trillion. The UN's Trade and Development Agency United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, that is also known as UNCTAD, reported that the coronavirus, which is also known as COVID-19, cost the global economy up to $2 trillion in 2019. The announcement was made by Richard Kozel-Wright. He is Director, Division on Globalization and Development Strategies at UNCTAD. Now let's try to reach out some of the main points of that report. So as per the report, the epidemic caused a recession in some countries and depressed global annual growth to below 2.5%. The economic uncertainty has likely cost the global economy $1 trillion in 2020. And $220 billion hit the developing countries, excluding China. Now, the most badly affected economies because of the epidemic are oil exporting countries. They lost more than 1% point of growth, and those with the strong trade linkages into the initially shocked economies. Now, if we talk, the growth deceleration between 0.7% and 0.9% are likely to occur in the American countries such as Mexico, Canada, and the Central American region, and the countries in the East and South Asia and immediacy of the European Union. Let's move on. Our fourth point is Manipur government announced schemes for sportsperson and artist. The Manipur state government is to provide benefits to sportsperson and artists of the state and the country. The announcement was made by the Chief Minister N. Biren Singh on 15th of March. It was declared that it was the biggest ever scheme for the welfare of the sports person and the artist of the state. Now let's talk about some highlights of that scheme. So CMAST scheme, that is around 7.36 crore will be required. Under that CMAST scheme, suitable employment in the government services would be provided to the sports person winning medals in international events on the basis of the criteria laid down by the state government. It will also support the sports person for purchasing costly sporting items. Cash award will be awarded for Olympians who bag gold, silver, bronze, and the winners will be given rupees 1 crore, 75 lakh and 50 lakh respectively. The government will provide incentives of up to 2 lakhs per annum to around 250 local clubs of the state. Under this scheme, this also includes a lifetime pension scheme for unemployed sports person and coaches of 50 years and above who have represented the state or the country either in a national or international tournaments. Now let's talk about some highlights of CMAT, which is for artists. So this CMAT scheme will require around 5.70 crore. This CMAT scheme has been designed for renowned artists. It encourages them to performing arts, literary arts and visual arts. The scheme will benefit around 4,000 artists a year. Pension will be extended to around 1,000 artists who are 60 years and above under the scheme. Now the pensioners under the scheme includes awardees, gurus and non-awardees who have contributed to preserving the tradition, culture and the art from Manipur. Now the scheme will provide financial assistance to the award winners in the national competition and festivals. Now our next topic is India's second largest national oil explorer, Oil India Limited, that is also known as OIL. They signed an agreement with Numaligarh Refinery for purchase and sale of crude oil for a term of 5 years. The agreement was signed by the finance directors of the two companies. In this agreement, the crude oil sales agreement will come in effect from 1st of April 2020 and that is going to last till 31st of March 2025. The agreement will streamline the sale and purchase transactions of crude oil produced from fields in northeast India. If we talk about this Numaligarh Refinery, which is owned by Numaligarh Refinery Limited and it is located in Morangi, which is in Assam. Now Numaligarh Refinery is a joint venture between Bharat Petroleum, that is having 61.65% of shares, Oil India, which is having 26% of it, and Government of Assam, which is having 12.35%. Now let's move on to our next topic here. So India pledged $10 million toward a COVID-19 emergency fund. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hosted a video conference meet of leaders of the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation members, which is also known as SAARC, nations to the tackle to the novel coronavirus, which is also known as COVID-19. The main highlights of this video conference meeting was to witness the participation of leaders of all SAARC countries. PM Modi proposed for COVID-19 emergency fund. India pledged $10 million toward a COVID-19 emergency fund and planned to put together a rapid response team of doctors and specialists for SAARC nations. India suggested integrated disease surveillance portal that is currently being used to detect infected patients and contact tracking. The leaders proposed that health secretaries and experts from all SAARC member nations should coordinate to monitor and curb the spread of COVID-19. Let's head to our next point. Ministry of Culture to revisit 1958 ancient monuments and archaeological sites and remains act. So Ministry of Culture has announced that it is to revisit the Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act 1958. The Act regulates construction around centrally protected monuments and classify them based on their historical significance. So the policy was currently the Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act 1958, which imposed a ban on constructions of any kind within 100 meter of centrally protected monuments. It also allows only certain type of regulated construction within the 100 to 200 meter parameter. So the existing provisions hinder much significant development work around these areas. Therefore, in 2018, the government moved an amendment to the law in the order to maintain and remove these restrictions. In Feb 2019, a parliamentary standing committee examined the bill and submitted its report. The committee advocated the need for a law that balanced the preservation of monuments and historical significance and development of the infrastructure around the monuments. Alright, so the next point is Parliamentary panel reported annual post-harvest loss in fisheries. A parliamentary panel reported that the fisheries sector suffered a high post-harvest loss of 61,000 crore. The report stated that the marine fisheries has a loss of 15,000 crore and both marine and inland fisheries had a loss of 61,000 crore. So let's talk about what report says here. The report highlighted that the possible cause for the post-harvest losses is faulty handling practices, inordinate delay in packing and transportation, lack of proper cold storage facilities, and lack of technological known how for harvesting fishes. The committee also recommended modernizing the existing harbors and establish more cold storage facilities. The panel suggested ensuring the availability of more refrigerated trucks and vans for transportation of fishes. It also urged Government of India to allocate sufficient funds to the fisheries department so that the post-harvest losses can be minimized and hence safeguarding the interest of various stakeholders in the fisheries sector. Now, during the year 2018-19, the total fish production in India stood at around 13.42 million metric tons. Out of the total, marine fisheries contributed 3.71 million metric tons. During 1890, the export of marine products stood at nearly 1.4 million metric tons and was valued at rupees 46,589 crores. So our next in line is UP promulgates 2020 UP Recovery of Damage to Public and Private Property Ordinance. The Uttar Pradesh state government promulgated Uttar Pradesh Recovery Damage to Public and Private Property Ordinance 2020 law on 15th of March. The ordinance was approved by the state cabinet under the chairmanship of Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. So let's have a look about some factors. Under the new law to recover compensation from those who damage public and private property during protests and riots. The same happened with the CAA protests in UP. Compensation claims will be decided by designated claims tribunals. The tribunals will be authorized to investigate complaints and assess the damage. The claims tribunal will be headed by the retired district judge and its members would be of the rank of additional commissioner. It is empowered with all the powers of the civil court. This point is very important. Now, the law states that the owner of any private property may file claims for compensation within 3 months of the public protest, bandh or riots. Our next point is related to Chief Justice of India. So, Chief Justice of India ruled out complete shutdown of Supreme Court and other courts. So, the Chief Justice of India ruled out, as I have said, the complete shutdown of the Supreme Court and other courts. Supreme Court is to launch virtual courts. These virtual courts will hold trials in the top court and it will be limited. Supreme Court commenced on 16th of March 2020. Some highlights are also Supreme Court Bar Association and Supreme Court Advocates on Record Association were directed to ensure proper communication with the members of the bar with regard to the awareness of self-discipline and also motivate the members to disclose and self-restrain from attending courts. Sick persons with symptoms of cough and cold were asked not to attend the court. Members of the bar should be prepared to accept and promote the e-filing and video conference of courthouse. No adverse order are to pass, and adjournments will be granted leniently. Let's move on and talk about Jammu and Kashmir. So, Center to introduce industrial policy to boost economic development of Jammu and Kashmir. So, the information was announced by the Union Home Minister Amit Shah. Some highlights are Jammu and Kashmir attracts Rs 30,000 crore for the last 70 years. With the new policy, Government of India aims to triple the investment by 2024 in the region. Government has assured to take all steps for the overall development of the region. Central government works with all the sections of the society to realize the hopes and statehood for Jammu and Kashmir at an early opportunity. A reasonable economic development policy will be drafted soon after widespread consultation, and a commission will be set up soon for the implementation of the policy in this union territory. The policy will reach Gujars, nomads and other communities. Let's have a look about Jammu and Kashmir. It was formed as Union Territory on 31st of October 2019, and the capitals are Srinagar, which is May to October, and Jammu, which is November to April. So the Lieutenant Governor, who is Girish Chandra Marmu, and Jammu and Kashmir having 12 districts. Giving us another point, R.K. Singh launched the new website of Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. The Minister of State for Power and Renewable Energy, Shri R.K. Singh, launched the new website of the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy on 14th of March. He directed that the sectoral updation of the site should be personally ensured at the senior level so that it maintains pace with time. Let's move to our next point here. The 39th GST Council meeting was held under the chairmanship of Union and Finance Corporate Affairs Minister Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman on 14th of March in New Delhi. It was on 14th of March in New Delhi. Union Minister of State for Finance and Corporate Affairs Anurag Thakur, along with Finance Minister of State and Union Territories and senior officers of the Ministry of Finance, participated in this meeting. Officials discussed the issues faced by the taxpayer in the GST system, a summary of the recently observed IT issues, and the way forward to resolve them was submitted. The meeting also focused on smoothing the rollout of the new return system and ensured the transition to the new return system is made in an incremental manner. The meeting addressed the compliance related issues so that the problem of tax evasion and gaming of the system due to non-linking of Form GSTR1 and Form GSTR3B is addressed immediately. The official also stated that in order to tackle and prevent the gaming of the system, implementation of Aadhaar authentication and spike rules would be initiated. Let's move on and talk about Wings India 2020, which was concluded in Hyderabad. Ministry of Civil Aviation is to expand various factors including low-cost carriers, modern airports, FDI in domestic airlines, advanced IT in order to increase the regional connectivity across the country. The information was passed by Sri Hardeep Singh Puri, the Union Minister of Civil Aviation at the Wings India 2020 in Hyderabad. Government of India also plans to bring aviation tribunal fuel under goods and service tax. And by and large, there is an acknowledgement for across the state to make it happen. Heading to our next point, Minister Mansukh Mandavia inaugurated RoPax services from Bhaucha Dhaka to Mandwa. Sri Mansukh Mandavia, the Union Minister of State for Shipping, visited ROPEX, roll on roll off passenger services at Bhaucha Dhakka, Maharashtra on 15th of March. He visited ROPEX terminal and inspected the facilities created for the passengers as the ROPEX services from Bhaucha Dhakka to Mandwa commences. Let's talk about ROPEX. ROPEX services is a water transport service project that functions under Eastern Waterfront Development. This service reduces travel time from 3 to 4 hours to just 1 hour. Vehicular emission and traffic on the road. Around 50 lakh passengers commute annually by these catamarans and launches from Gateway of India to Mandwa. The importance of the roadway was recognized by Mumbai Port Trust and Maharashtra Maritime Board, and with government support decided to start ROPEX services from Bhaucha Dhakka, Mumbai to Mandwa. Heading to our next point, a new study on Earth occurred, and recently a study on Earth spin was published in the American Geophysical Union's Journal. The study came after scientists studied a 70 million years old mollusk fossil from Oman. So the key points are, the study states that Earth spun 372 times a year 70 billion years ago, compared to the current 365 times. This means that the day was 23.5 hours long compared to 24 hours today. It is important to note that the period of Earth's orbit has remained the same. In other words, 1 year 70 million years ago was as long as 1 year today. So today, Earth's orbit is not exactly 365 days, but 365 days and a fraction, which is why our calendars have leap year as a correction. It has long been known that Earth's spin has slowed over time. The study states friction from ocean tides caused by the moon's gravity slows Earth rotation and leads to longer days. And as Earth's spin slows, the moon moves farther away. So the study states that the moon's rate of retreat has changed over the time. Now, how many of you know about Zojila? Have you guys heard about it? Let's talk about Zojila. It is a high mountain pass located in the Kargil district of Ladakh. The pass links Leh and Srinagar and provides an important link between Union territories of Ladakh and Kashmir. Zojila Pass remains closed during winter due to heavy snowfall, cutting off Ladakh region from Kashmir. In 2018, the Zojila Tunnel project was launched. The tunnel is Asia's longest and strategic bi-directional tunnel, which will provide all-weather connectivity between Srinagar, Kargil and Leh. Now before we start our next point, I would like to ask a question. How many of you know where Krishna Sagar Dam is? If you know the answer, type in the comment box. Now let's move on. The water level in the Krishna Sagar Dam in Mandya district, which is in Karnataka, is coming down rapidly owing to the increase in the evaporation rate and the decrease in the inflows as a result of the summer. The key points are: the Krishna Sagar Dam was built across the river Kaveri for the Mysore and Mandya district in Karnataka in 1932. The dam is named for the then ruler of the Mysore kingdom, Krishna Raja Vodeyar IV. The dam is the creation of one of the greatest engineers that India had produced, Sir M. Visvesvaraya. His birthday, 15 September, is celebrated as Engineers Day. The reservoir is also the main source of drinking water for all the Mysore city and almost the whole of Bangalore. The water released from this dam is further used as an important source of water in the state of Tamil Nadu.